Hello and welcome to the Survival Jam channel. In today's video I'm going to be showing you how to make this very simple A-frame tarp shelter. Now this thing is, like I said, very simple to make. There are a few perks of it. It is very spacious. The build time is really quite quick, so in the event of rain, I mean, yeah, this is ideal. And you can get in it from the front and back, as you can see there. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a floor, so you will have to kind of figure something out. And to make this shelter, you're going to need literally next to nothing. I've got a 12 by 10 foot tarp here. Again, you could use a smaller one. You're also going to need some paracord. You could use stuff like this, or even this, or what I use in today's video, just so you can see it a little bit better. And because I had it in the car from magnet fishing, is this chunky rope, which is, yeah, you can use it. Obviously not ideal for carrying around, but yeah, you can use anything that you have lying around. You're also going to need a craft knife if you don't have any pegs. And if you do have pegs, ideally bring 4 pegs. The location for this shelter is vital. You are going to want to pitch up a ridge line in between 2 trees. So we're going to have this one. And over here, as you can see, we've got another tree right here. I was just checking to make sure the floor was okay. Again, I was in the middle of so many stinging nettles. This was the only gap I could find in between 2 trees. So right now, we're going to make a noose. So I'm just going to make a loop and pull the rope through it. And then pull it tight to make a knot. Like this, as you can see. And that should be tight. And we've got a loop at the end. Okay. And then we're going to put that around the tree. And basically we want to feed the rest of the rope through that loop. And what this will allow us to do is tighten up the rope on this side really nice. So once it's gone all the way through, we can pull that really tight. Get it to the desired height. I just wanted it a little bit higher than my camera was set up at the moment. So it does go above the camera, as you can see. But all I'm doing is putting it in the desired position and pulling it tight through that loop. So you can see here, I'm literally just pulling it. And then once they're both tight, I'm simply going to knot it off with a basic knot. I'm going to do that a couple of times, and that shouldn't go anywhere. And at this point, once you are satisfied it is tight enough, we're going to pull the rope all the way to the other tree. And we're basically just going to loop it around as tight as we can. Now you could use another knot or something like this, but for convenience and speed, I mean, I do say speed here, unfortunately, because I'm using such a long rope. You can see it takes me a fair while to do, but eventually we get there. But yeah, I'm just using a wraparound method, and then I'll do a basic knot in the end. But yeah, because the rope is so long, you can see I'm having a little bit of trouble getting it actually around the tree, which is kind of annoying. I could have done it a much more efficient way. At this point, I'm going to try and knot it off. So you can see I wrap it round kind of. And then I simply make a loop and just do a basic knot, and it should hold as long as the top line is tight. We need to make sure it's really tight so it can hold our tarp. Of course, if it's not tight, you're going to have the tarp going really low, and yeah, it's not what we want. So there we go. At this point, we should have something that looks a little bit like this. A nice tight ridge line across 2 trees. So now is the fun bit. This is the bit I like to do, is throwing the tarp on. Now if it is raining, you're going to ideally want to do this without touching the ground. Although my tarp was completely folded in completely messed up ways, so I just had to figure out which way was going to be the easiest way to do it. So I just had to wrap it all. And also, if you've got a different size tarp, like I've got a 12 by 10 foot tarp, because of that, I'm going to throw the longer side over the ridge line, just giving me a little bit more room, and yeah, that should be alright. I mean, if you wanted to do it the opposite way, it would be fine. Maybe you've got a different size tarp completely, so I mean, it could vary anyway. So you can see all I'm doing is just neatening it up, making sure it's nice and tight in the middle, and all the creases are out. And once I'm satisfied with all the creases and that they've all gone, I can pull the bottom out. And what this will do, if you've got like a backpack or something that you need shelter, at this point you will be able to get a little bit of shelter for your equipment. And then I'm just going to do the same to the other side. And now I'm going to use some sticks as stakes. Again, you might have some pegs if you brought some with you. I haven't, so I'm just going to carve them, and that's exactly why I need the knife. So you can just find some sticks on the floor. I'm going to use some of my grey rope to make some eyelets and stick them through the eyelets on the tarp. This way, if you've not got a tarp with big enough eyelets, like I've not, you can just use the rope, and yeah, it works out perfectly. So you can just pull it tight at this point, which I now put a glove on because I don't want to get stung. Just adjusting it back in the ridge line, and I kind of do it nice and tight, but not too tight, so it pulls it too much, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to put that there. My face was so close to stinging nettles right there. And then you're going to want to do exactly the same on all three other corners, and it really will start to take shape. You can see I've done 2 corners at this point, nearly at corner number 3. Again, I've used the rope technique for the eyelets because the stakes wouldn't fit through them. And at this point, yeah, it really does take shape, and you can see it looks really nice and spacious inside, away from the rain. Staking the last one down now, just giving it a little bit of a adjust to tighten it up. Maybe you want to adjust any of the stakes, but at this point I'm quite happy with it. As you can see, it is looking good, and you can obviously get in from the front and the back, and you do have to figure something out for the floor. So what I do is actually use a plastic bag, which I put my rucksack on. I just used a bin bag, and I mean, it was alright just temporarily. If I was in an emergency or something, I could just set up a little bag and, you know, make a coffee. The great thing about this specific shelter is you could set up a camping stove or something like that. It's got great ventilation, and yeah, like I said, you could cook or make some coffee, do whatever you really gotta do, and just chillax away from the rain. Now, there are also different variations of this shelter. You can see mine's quite close to the ground, although maybe when you make yours, it could be slightly off the ground, it could be lower, it could be higher. You could change it depending on how high your ridgeline is, but overall, depending on how big your tarp is, yeah, you should have a really spacious shelter that will keep you out of the rain in the event of an emergency. Like I said, really fast and easy to make. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I will catch you on the next one.